All right. I'm Larry Mastrapuri. I'm the broker owner of the Mastrapuri Group, based here in South Florida, and we are live. And this is a, a live broadcast that we're going to go over most of what's happening in the downtown area and outside of the downtown area in Boca Raton. We just got some news about the most recent projects here that are happening and or have been proposed in the Boca Raton market. So we figured we'd take a moment, review some of these projects. There are so many that every time I look at the new proposed project list, it's just amazing to me. So we'll go over some of the ones that we've talked about in the past, some of the ones that I've put videos up for in the past, and some new ones that I haven't talked about yet. So we'll take a second though here, and I'll give people a minute to jump on, and then we'll go for it. So let's take a minute. Hang tight. We'll give people about 1 minute or so to get on. If you're jumping on now, tell me where you're from. Welcome. Can't see exactly. I'm learning to use StreamYard here, so I can't see exactly where you're from unless you, or who you are, unless you jump in this chat. So give me a shout out. All right. All right, let's see what we got. Hang tight. All right, well, let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen, but as I said, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go over development projects that are happening in the Boca Raton marketplace, whether it be downtown or outside of the downtown area. There's some new ones that just popped on my radar, and there's some oldies that have been trying to get approved for a long time that we'll bring up. And I think a lot of these projects, a lot of people haven't heard of yet. So if you're an investor or you just live in the area, you may find this interesting or valuable to make good real estate purchases or sales. So let's do it. I share my screen right now. Here we go. All right. So this recently came out. This is the November 2023. So this is the city of Boca putting this out, projects in review document. And so they go over and put a post up about anything and everything that's happening in the Boca Raton market that has had a proposal of some sort recently and or historically that's still kind of in the queue. So this is a great document to look at, and we'll go through some of these, and I'll talk through what's going on with some of these projects. So we'll start with the first one. Let's talk about this. I've talked about this in the past. This is the Boca Villas project. This is a pretty interesting project. It's been proposed by Integra, and I'll get into that too. But I see a few people joining. Say hi in the chat. Tell me where you're from. Hit me up with any questions. If you have additional information about this stuff, don't hesitate to drop it in the chat as well. Let's keep it going. Okay, so Integra. Integra is the developer of this project. Let me show you exactly where this is. So this is we'll go through it here. So Integra Investments hopes to get the green light on a residential development in Boca Raton. It's called the Boca Villas. It comprises of about 120 townhomes, and they're spread out across multiple buildings, along with two-story clubhouse outfitted for a ton of amenities. And this is in a location and on a lot that has been vacant as long as I can remember. So let me show you where that's at, though. Here we go. So I can even... So it's right here. So if you guys know Boca Raton well, you might know, obviously, Florida Atlantic University. So it's east of 95, just east of Florida Atlantic University, east of the El Rio Canal, right next to Wynwood. So this is a project that I've been aware of for some time, but now they're making formal proposals here. So you can see on the project list, they filed on 9/8 of 2023. So this is starting to get some traction, or they're starting to move on it. And Integra is the developer, Integra Investments. They're the guys who own this, and they're working on developing this. Now, what's interesting here is I've seen some rent figures, and these are older rent figures, but look at this. Sources from 2022 report that rent on the homes would likely range from 6,000 to 7,000 a month. And that might even be light because that was 2022. So we'll see what that is. It's unclear whether this is still the case. Rent in Boca averages about 2,900 a month for 1,000 square foot apartment. So these townhomes are going to be very nice. They're going to be right next to Florida Atlantic University, right in downtown-ish, just outside of downtown-ish Boca. So you're going to have, this is a rental community. They're not going to be reselling these. And so this is going to be interesting to see how this goes. My guess is they're going to have extremely strong demand. They recently there was another project that was completed recently right here that we reported on, and their rents were strong. They were these are townhomes right along Yamato with no amenities, and they were in the 4,500 to 6,500 range, I was told. So that, is not improbable to get $7,000 a month for small townhomes. So we'll see how that goes. But this is a big project, and I think they're going to push this through here in the near future. I've been waiting to see if they were going to move the needle here or move the ball forward, and they have. So this is new to me. So this is interesting. So more new development happening. Let's see. Hey, Tony or Antoinette, I see you live in Boca Raton. Hit me up with any questions while we go through this stuff. All right, well, moving on. Let's talk a little bit more about the next project on the list. And this is another one I recently reported on, Martin Manor. So 9/5/2023, the date they filed, and a planner was assigned. So this project's interesting. It's a request to rezone the approximately 10-acre property from multifamily R3 to multifamily residential R5A, and amend the future land use from residential medium to residential high. So right now, I'll show you what this looks like. So what they're looking to do is really build out first phase 95 units, but it's a 95 unit complex that they're looking to build right here on this property. And this is on the corner, and I'll show you on the map. This is on the corner of Dixie Highway and Glades Road. Let's confirm that's Glades. There we go. So this is Dixie Manor Apartments. This is what's here right now. And believe it or not, these buildings have been here since World War II. So these have been here for a very long time, and it's probably time that this gets updated. And so if they add a new apartment complex here, I mean, again, you have new apartment complex going up or new rental community going up here, another new rental community here, Martin Manor. We have projects going on all over the place. They have a proposed huge project here that we've chatted about in the past, and I've made a video on. This is super exciting when this eventually gets going, but this has been in the works for a long time. So we won't even touch on this for now. This is from the same guys who are currently developing the Mandarin Oriental. So they need to finish that mess of a project first, and then they can move over to this one, I think. So anyway, so let's get back to the Martin Manor project. So Martin Manor right here is where it's proposed to be built. The first phase, they're talking about building 95 units, and they're replacing these World War II vintage homes. So, and right now, this is something many people might not know. The Boca Raton Housing Authority currently controls this land, and they've partnered with Atlantic Pacific to build this new 95 unit complex. And the venture involves demolishing, as I said, the Dixie Manor and putting up multifamily housing. That's phase 1, 95 units, and then phase 2, hopefully another 95 units. And so you can kind of see some photos of what this currently looks like as we speak. And so the new development, as I mentioned, is called, or going to be called, the Residence of Martin Manors. And they claim it would offer 1-bedroom to 4-bedroom units measuring 630 square feet to 1,300 square feet. And this is a 10-acre parcel of land. So they got a good amount of land to work with here to build this project. So let's continue on. Anybody have any thoughts or comments around this. This right now, the way it stands, is an affordable housing project. So they would again propose making this somewhat affordable is the proposal. So so we can talk more about that too. If you have any questions, drop that in the chat. But to keep that moving, there's other projects that we've touched on here in the past that are worth talking about. The next one is what they call the this is interesting. So I just saw this come up. Batmazian, who owns a lot of property here in the Boca Raton market, a significant amount. He's the biggest landowner in this market. He has some projects in the works too. These have been taking some time, and they've been having some struggles getting them fully approved and getting through some of the hurdles that have come up along the way. But they have a retail plaza planned, and I think this would be great because I don't really love what they have there currently. And again, this is right here closer to the downtown market as well. The location is here, right off Northwest 2nd, Glades Road, and Dixie Highway. It's all right here. So right now it has kind of, I hope I don't offend anybody, but it has kind of like ugly, more dirty industrial product in this space. And so it would be great for them to, redevelop this and make this look pretty and more, I'd say, useful for the local residents here. So let me show you. So that was recently put on the list here. Let's go find that. Glades Station East, and then there's Glades Station West. So initially, Batmazian was trying to combine these two, but because my understanding is there's an easement for the railway, he was unable to. And so they've created two projects, and I think they plan to start on Glades Station East sooner than later. And so it's a request to construct a one-story, approximately 18,000 square foot building comprised of 11,500 square feet of retail space, 3,500 square feet of professional office space, and a 3,000 square foot eating and drinking establishment with an additional 375 square feet of outdoor dining space, with a total of 137 parking spaces. So that sounds way more interesting than what's there right now. And again, what's there right now is some industrial and just kind of a vacant, I don't want to say vacant, they use it, I believe, but a lot that has more just parking of heavy equipment. And so let me pull this up. So this is what they've proposed, basically. You can see some of these photos here. The Louis Bossy, there's already a Louis Bossy, so I think these photos are old. There's a Louis Bossy in downtown Boca, so I'm guessing they probably wouldn't put another one here. But this is kind of the concept. Maybe some a coffee shop, some other restaurants, and this would do really well there, my opinion. I mean, this is right across the street from, let me show you on the map. This is right across the street from FAU, basically. I mean, FAU is right here. And so it's, less than a mile. It's probably a quarter mile. When I was a student at FAU, I totally would have jumped off campus right here this way and kind of come down and just spend some time in this space here. So I think that's more than reasonable. I think they would do really well amongst many other residential communities around the area. I think this will do very well, and it's on the corner of a super busy intersection. I mean, Dixie Highway, Federal Highway, and Glades Road in Boca is arguably the busiest roads. So this will do well. I think they're spot on with the proposal. So we'll see if they can get this finally done. But Batmazian is as I said, the largest property owner in Boca Raton, and he is the owner of Investments Limited. And if you live in Boca, you've seen his signs in front of most of the buildings in Boca. So he owns this 2.5 acre site at 50 Glades Road, and also the 1.49 acre site at 120 and 140 Glades Road. And they're owned under various LLCs. And the properties are on the west side of the FEC Railway. And although the railway has an easement that divides the two properties, there was previously a rail spur that went through on that easement, but it's no longer in use. So he's tried, as I mentioned, to get that easement removed, but hasn't had success, is what they've reported here. And again, as I said, being super close, even this is what I didn't mention earlier, they're really close to Florida Atlantic University, Palm Beach State College, but also Boca Regional Hospital. Boca Regional Hospital is like minutes from here. So here's Boca Regional Hospital. So this location is prime. Another reason why rentals in this area would be strong too. I mean, not only Palm Beach State, Florida Atlantic, the hospital now, go a little further west and you have Lynn University. I mean, there is a lot of reasons why East Boca housing rentals are strong still and continue to be strong, even in a slightly changing market. So, Adam, welcome to the video. Welcome to my live. Thanks for the thumbs up, buddy. All right, so let's keep it moving here. So we talked about Mr. Batmazian and what he's trying to achieve here. And this has again been in progress for quite a while. So these projects, as you can see, some of these, they've had some movement in 2022, but less movement recently. So hopefully they can get these done, because I think these are worthwhile projects. I think they'll greatly improve the area overall. So let's keep moving. So this one, Royal Palm Residences, we've talked about this. I've presented on this in some of my other videos, but we'll bring it up right now. I'll show you. So Royal Palm Residences is a great property. Let me show you where it is. It's getting close to being done. It's still in progress. Maybe, I don't know, I'd say, let's see, I'll make a bet. 6 months to a year. So maybe summer of 2024, completely done. We'll see. Maybe I'm over ambitious here. Definitely by the end of 2024, I think this project will be done. So this project is awesome. Prime location, right off of Palmetto Park Road, right in downtown Boca Raton. It's right next to Meisner Park, right next to the Boca Resort and Club, the Boca Raton Golf Club. You could walk to the beach, and you can basically walk to downtown, and you walk across the street and you're in the Golden Triangle, as they call it here, which is just super high-end luxury single-family homes that are all one-off spec builds or custom home builds. So great location. They're doing some really awesome things in this area right now, and they've built a new gorgeous park, Wildflower Park. You can't really tell on here because it's all been redeveloped. And same with the boat drop ramp right here. So it's a great spot. And this project's, as I said, getting close to being done. And so I'll show you a little bit about what the plans are. You can kind of see some of these photos here, but they're building 3 towers. It's gorgeous. It's going to be really nice. So it's going to be 9 stories and 3 towers, 48 total units, 3 bed, 4 bath. They're going to range in size from 2,400 to 7,000 square feet. And they have some units that have 2,000 square feet terraces, which is going to be awesome. I mean, outdoor living on those units are going to be great. And they range in price on the pre-sales from 1.7 million to 7 million. And guys, all these units and all these buildings that are being put up right now, they are pre-selling very well. They're strong pre-sale market here. A lot of these new build communities, whether it's single family homes or condos, they're selling fast. So if you're interested in something like this is something we can get you connected with and get you in advance as well. These are currently pre-selling as we speak. I haven't checked recently. They may be sold out. We'll see. If you're interested, reach out. So let's keep it moving. Check out our video on this project if you're interested. We can share that with you, or go to our YouTube channel, Discover South Florida, and you'll see all the new build construction videos that we've done, so you can get a sense of what's happening here. Yeah. So let's keep it moving down this list here. So Meisner Plaza, this is interesting. This has been a very, very interesting project. It's taken some time. So let's talk about what it is. The proposal is for a 242 room hotel and a 34,000 square foot retail that consists of 17,800 square feet of restaurant and 16,500 square feet of retail use in 2 towers, totaling 23,000 square feet, including 2 levels of internal structural parking and a maximum height not to exceed 140 feet. Now, this would add some serious density to that downtown area, but I think the downtown Meisner Park area would benefit from this. We are not, it's in a prime spot. I think it would benefit the local businesses. We'll put it that way. I know some people might be upset with me saying that because, man, the density is just ever increasing in downtown Boca. So let's talk about it. So Meisner Park is right here. And the project that, again, Investments Limited, Batmazian, is proposing is right here, where the United States Post Office currently is. So the community has been resisting demolishing this post office for a long time. They've been fighting this proposal. But recently, I believe they've gotten the go-ahead. So basically, the community's done a good job of postponing the demolition of this, but it looks like he's going to get his wish and be able to build this project. So this is, if you're in downtown right now and you're walking down south from Meisner Park and you want to go to the Royal Palm Place area, you would walk right through this area. And so right now there's some little shops here with some little restaurants. It's really nice. But if they built something here along the way, I mean, this would add a lot more traffic to the downtown market as far as foot traffic goes, because everything's super walkable from here. It would be an awesome place to have a hotel. The Hyatt was recently built in downtown here as well. But again, and look, there's our office. And again, this is prime real estate, great location. Let's talk a little bit about it. I'll show you. So here we go. So he's looking to build an 11-story building, which includes restaurants and retail, 266 key hotel. So, and again, the married couple who are considered the largest private retail estate owners in the city have proposed this 266 key hotel on 1.7 acres at 132 and 170 Northeast 2nd Street. And by the way, I have my P.O. box right here. So I don't know what I'm going to do with my P.O. box when they decide to demo this. According to Batmazian's application submitted to the city last month, the project consists of 2 buildings, one with 153 rooms, each averaging about 445 square feet, and another with 113 rooms, each averaging 1,300 square feet. The proposal is for 32,400 square feet of retail and restaurants on the 1st and 2nd floors and 2 levels of underground parking. So this has become a thing here in the downtown market, building the underground parking. Royal Palm Residences has done this new engineering feat, if you will. They've done it a few times in other areas, but they've built, the Royal Palm Residences has built underground parking as well here. That's pretty neat and pretty cool from an engineering perspective, if you appreciate that. So this is becoming common because the land is so scarce here. They're putting the parking underground. So the Batmazians own the development site. They paid $4.2 million for the 170 Northeast 2nd Street building, now home to the United States Postal Service office, in 2013, according to property records. In 1990, they paid $400,000 for the next door building, which now is Meisner Plaza. Can you imagine paying $400,000 today for that? You can't even buy a single family home for $400,000 in East Boca right now. That is bananas. So the Batmazians, whose firm is the Boca Raton based Investments Limited, have painstakingly amassed their Palm Beach County real estate portfolio since the early 1980s when they moved to South Florida. The strategy largely has been to focus on small acquisitions, sometimes of overlooked properties that they then spruced up. And so they've done a good job. They've acquired so much here in the Boca Raton market. So, and I know Jim. I've met Jim before, and I've spent time with him, and I've actually transacted with Jim. And listen to this: you grab real estate any way you could grab it. Jim Batmazian, the real deal, in an interview last year. And so I would agree that's Jim. That's his motto. He definitely picks up whatever. I've sold Jim duplexes here in Boca. So while the Batmazians are known as major South Florida benefactors, starting and helming educational and other charities, James Batmazian's record is blemished by a 2008 guilty plea on charges he evaded payroll taxes and ensued 8 months prison sentence. Former President Donald Trump pardoned Batmazian in 2020. So this guy, as you can imagine, has connections here. But let's get back to the project. So he's planning to build this, and I think here's another article that talks about it. It says, "Goodbye Downtown Post Office," and this was published a few months ago. And so on behalf of James Batmazian, Boca Raton land use attorney Bonnie submitted a proposal that will replace the downtown post office and the entire Meisner Plaza shopping strip with a 12-floor hotel. Residents fought tooth and nail in 2018 to save the post office from being razed, but it seems all they did was gain a temporary reprieve. So say goodbye to the downtown post office. So, and then they go on to talk about what we just talked about. Here's a good example of what they're doing. So Tower 155 is a new construction community right here that's finished and done. And so next will be Batmazian's new construction project. So, the development's happening. And here's what it looks like right now. Here's a good picture of what it looks like. The post office is directly to the left of this. So yeah. It says, not much is known about the project at this time, except it is proposed to have 449 parking spaces, 93 extended stay rooms, and 153 short-term rooms. But it seems all traffic will be routed through the alley between the hotel and Tower 155 to its south to avoid congestion with Meisner Park. So, a new hotel and Aletta Square spell trouble for Sanborn Square. So this is interesting. So Aletta and then 155 and then the proposed. So what are they talking about here? Both of these projects will impact the serenity of Sanborn Square and the pedestrian promenade. The hotel will add to the noise and traffic that will be created by recently approved Aletta Square, rather than across it from Northeast 2nd Street. Traffic for Batmazian's hotel will continue from either Meisner Boulevard or Sanborn Square's Northeast 1st Avenue. First Ave will feel the brunt of this traffic from the two projects. I do agree. I mean, the traffic down here is going to be wild. It's not, some people are going to disagree with me, it's not crazy right now. I know it's increased quite a bit. I don't usually have a problem on Meisner Boulevard. And you can kind of sneak out, but I would say there's probably going to be increased traffic through some of these neighborhoods. That's probably a thing. So here's the hotel proposal. And then the other project that they're talking about, and Sanborn Square is right here. And this is really nice, by the way. Like, it's right now, like walking from Meisner Park through this area down to Royal Palm Place is really cool. I mean, this whole downtown area is a great walk after dinner or before dinner, like when the weather's nice during the winter. It's great. So this is definitely gonna be crazy while they're building this. It's not gonna be fun, but afterwards it'll be nice and new. But the traffic, I agree, will be increased, and so people will probably start driving through these neighborhood roads, right? Northeast 2nd Street and stuff like that, and that's all very, very residential. So we'll see what happens here. But all right, let's move on. There's some more interesting stuff I want to touch on that's kind of new, some things I learned recently. Let's scroll. through some of these. I've already kind of sifted through. There's Martin Manor again. Okay. Lynn University making some proposals for their stuff. Here's something that's interesting. Live Local Act. So this goes back to increasing density in this area. So implementation of section 166.0451 Florida statute to approve the development of housing on properties zoned for commercial and industrial uses so long as at least 10% of such housing units are affordable. The state says 40%, but the cities can make the decision to reduce that to 10%, and that's what this is talking about here. So again, this is allowing developers to get in here, get some incentives to increase the zoning density, saying they're doing affordable units, but they only have to really do 10% of affordable units. And then those affordable units, the reality is in Boca Raton, isn't even really that affordable. So because they have, it's a percentage of the median. So it's really not as affordable as one may think. So that's something to comment on as well. But again, this is what we're seeing here. Massive development in downtown. They're doing whatever they can to use the land in the downtown area and outside of the downtown area to build more projects that can house people, because we're in a situation where housing is limited, super limited in South Florida, let alone Boca Raton. There's not too many other places to build. There's not very much vacant land. And speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the GL Homes communities in the West Boca area. So outside of city limits, GL Homes, who's a big developer in Florida and Palm Beach County specifically, has been building multiple communities, and they've proposed to build more, and they're finishing some now as we speak. So let's talk a little bit about that. I'll pull up the map here so I can show you exactly what's going on and where projects are being built. So let's see here. Turnpike, Palmetto, Glades. Here we go. So this is Lotus Palm. This is a GL Homes community, and I was there this weekend. And this is the second Lotus community that GL has built in Boca, in West Boca. And these guys are, I'd say, 90-ish% sold out, and they'll probably be entirely sold out by the end of the year. And they've built maybe half of this community, in my opinion. They have at least, this west side of the community completed. They're working on the project right here, which is the clubhouse and all that, and all the amenities, which are awesome. And we can talk a little bit about that. So let's do that. So this is Lotus, and they are selling right now, starting at 1.3 million minimum. Would be probably a fair statement to make. So, but let's talk about, there's a few things they have going on. Like here, nearly 4,000 new homes GL Homes plans and proposes. But let's talk about this. Okay, so Lotus Palm is the second iteration of GL Homes project to build single family homes in the Boca Raton market. And now they've talked about, and I just learned this, that they're building another 600 to 700 homes in the community adjacent to Lotus Palm. So let me show you that on the map. I probably can show you here. So Lotus Palm is right here to the right, and they're going to go right next door and build here. So they'll probably keep their model homes open here for a long period of time while they continue to sell the same models that they built over here in Lotus Palm. And frankly, they built these in the original Lotus, which is just a little bit north of here. They'll continue to sell them through the models here. And again, these guys have half built this community and almost entirely sold out. The only ones that are actually really available for sale right now, as far as new builds go, I'll show you, is right here. So right like in this little area here. And it looks way different. I mean, there's probably ways I could show you the community map. I have pictures of it, but it looks way different than this. This used to be a golf course that they acquired, and so there's nice lakes here and stuff like that. And so long story short, there's no shortage of demand for even expensive new construction, and that's really what new construction is being sold for at a minimum 1.3. I don't think you can touch really anything for 1.3 million new construction anywhere else in the Boca market. So this is actually affordable compared to what you see being built new construction spec homes in the area. Frankly, I mean, I think if I talk about, let's just talk about East Boca. East Boca is, I mean, the cheapest I've seen is maybe 2.5 million for a new build, maybe. And that's rare and far and few between. Most new builds in East Boca will range, I don't know, minimum of 3 and up, but there's a lot selling in the 4s, we'll put it that way. So, and a lot of those new build and custom builds are centered around the downtown market. So, but this is where the new third iteration of Lotus, they haven't actually formally named it yet, but maybe it's Lotus something. So will be built here. So that's another big development. This used to be farmland, as you could see, and no longer is it farmland. And they're going to have accesses from Lyons Road and also SR7 441. So they're diverting traffic here. I know again, traffic is a big topic, and density is a big topic here in South Florida, and specifically Boca, who has done over the years a good job of making the community very, very nice. And it wasn't always as busy as it is now. And some people don't love that, especially people who have experienced Boca in a very different way 30 years ago when they first moved here. There's a lot of people that I'm working with that are selling here in Boca because they're moving out. And by default, the average age in Boca is declining because of that, because you're getting more younger population moving into this higher density market. And the older population who's been here and came here for the lower density, and it's no longer low density, is moving to other parts of the state or other more affordable areas, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, they're building more cookie cutter-ish homes, but they're nice. They're really clean. I was in a handful of models over the weekend. So let me show you. Let me just show you. So again, this is a 260 acre parcel, and it's wedged between Lyons Road and SR7. It's right next to the high school, which is nice for anyone who's moving there. I mean, that's pretty cool. It sits on the northeast corner of the property. Other neighborhoods such as West Boca Estates and Boca Fontana surround the site. And here we go. Here's some. So what's planned? GL Homes, this is their third Lotus community, will feature 650 to 700 single-family homes with prices starting at 1.4 million and rising to more than 2.5 million. Like some of the GL homes, other residential communities, the high-end luxury homes will have a range of amenities as the developers usher in its third contemporary style community into the West Boca market. The official name has yet to be announced. And again, you see a handful of people pushing back here about disappointment around the increased traffic and density in this area. And if you saw here, let me show you on the map. You see here, that's not the one. Let me show you on the map. So also, if you can see here, they've recently built this really beautiful plaza. And again, Uptown Boca is a big rental community right here, and so this is really nice. So when they finish this and they continue to develop these big plazas here with great anchored retail stores like Chick-fil-A and Just Salad and BurgerFi and REI, I mean, this is like all filling in really nice. I actually think like as an example, the more of this type of stuff they can build out in West Boca, the nicer it will be. Historically, while West Boca is really still very nice, it's Boca. It's still really nice. It's not, in my opinion, as some areas, some of these retail shopping plazas are not as new or as well kept as what we see in the downtown Boca market, in my opinion. So this has definitely been a huge improvement for the area, frankly, as they build these nice retail or just update the facades of some of these big retail plazas like the Home Depot and the Best Buy area. Like I think they could probably update this a little bit, in my opinion. So same for the ones across the street. They're all really nice and clean. I mean, they're really nice, but compared to, if we're talking Boca standard, it probably could be better. And so as they build these new communities here, I think it's going to greatly improve the overall quality of everything around it. But let's finish with this. So as they are going through this process of finishing the Lotus community, Lotus Palm, and then preparing to build another 600-700 homes here, they've been engaged in a super controversial project to basically swap land where they have currently in the Loxahatchee market, and they have approvals to build about 4,000 homes in that area. And they were trying to swap some of that land or all of that land for, I don't know if it's some or all of it, but they wanted to swap this land for more real estate in the Boca market, but it was in the ag reserve territory. And if you don't know what that is, let me show you just where it is. So it's protected land and there's certain rules around it, et cetera, et cetera. And it's right here. So this is the ag reserve area, and they wanted to build in here. And so they wanted to swap that big project, that big parcel of land. Let me show you what it looks like. Here it is. So this is in the, call it Loxahatchee area. Relatively, it's a 45-minute drive from where we are right now. So a little ways away, but they have approval for 4,000 homes, and they got that approval many years ago. So generally speaking, they've kind of got grandfathered into this 4,000 homes after they obviously worked through it. They bought this project, or they acquired this land in 2005, and they've held it and got the approvals, and they've just held on to it. So they're trying to propose to swap the land for that other land, which is much smaller. And there's other stipulations that come with the swap. They were proposing a few other things, and not to get into the details. Either way, it was declined. I mean, the community was militant about trying to prevent them. I think they had 7,500 signatures or something like that at the most recent vote by the county commissioners. So again, they lost that. So they were declined to swap the land. So GL Homes said, basically, GL Homes, the developer whose land swap proposal, so GL Homes, the developer whose land swap proposal was rejected by Palm Beach County this week, still plans to construct nearly 4,000 homes on land it owns, but not in the agricultural region known as the Ag Reserve. So they were trying to get access to the Ag Reserve land by doing this land swap and offering some things, but they were declined because the community got pretty aggressive about it and prevented them from doing that. And then the county commissioners listened to the community and declined their proposal. But now they're going to build another 4,000 homes out in this Loxahatchee market, which you can see we've worked out here quite a bit as well. Let me show you. If you zoom out, so that's where we were, right? And now we're talking about all the way up in this area up here somewhere. So there's homes here, as you can see. So it's more like in this, here you go, perfect. It's all this land right here. So they own all this, or a good portion of this. They're planning to build here. And obviously you can see there's developments all throughout here, but this is, I would argue, the land, or you're not selling for the same price each single family home up here that you would in the decent like Boca market. So, but up here is really nice. They have a lot of new build communities. GL Homes built the Arden right here. So there's a bunch of new construction here, and this is where a lot of the development is ending up here. And as you move along Martin Highway, they're getting access to land in these areas as well to build. And this is it's not too far from West Palm Beach. West Palm Beach is, well, the international airport's right here. West Palm Beach is here. So this is like a 30-minute run to downtown West Palm, which actually isn't too far because, frankly, you can drive. I mean, there's enough traffic in Boca. It'll take you 25 minutes to get from all the way west, if you're west Boca, to East Boca sometimes, for sure, without a question. So they were making that proposal, and so they lost, and then they said, oh well, we'll just go build our 4,000 homes out in the Loxahatchee market. So this is super interesting, and GL owns a ton more land in the area, and will continue to build as they get approvals to do so. So, does Preston, welcome. Sorry, I haven't been watching my chat here. We should have taken Monopoly more seriously as kids. Amen to that, brother. We really should. I got lucky. I fell into this in 2010 and started playing Monopoly a little bit and acquired some real estate and continue to do so. But that was luck. I stumbled into that, and I agree. Yeah, James, just buy land. Thanks. Yeah, I agree with that too. It's hard though. I help developers and builders buy land or we represent sellers right now who were selling some of these deals to builders. And I'll give you just a quick example of this. We have a property here. So we have a listing that's in this area right here in Boca. Okay. So you can see how close that is to Meisner Park. I mean, you can walk I know people that live east of the El Rio Canal here that walk to downtown. They they bike, and they really enjoy it. And it's a nice little walk because some of you don't have to walk on Palmetto, right? You can walk through some of these back roads, and then you can connect right here into Meisner, and you're in that area. This is a great location. Right. This is a great location. And so we have a seller in this area right now, and we have them under contract with a builder, and you really have to be a sophisticated builder to understand your numbers really well in this market in order to build and not lose money, because construction costs are up. Obviously land costs are up. And so you really got to be careful, because without building at scale, it's hard to get the cost down to a level where you can make money. And my fiance, she is a builder, and we're building a project over here right now. And I would just say, talking to the builders that we work with often, we already know we're paying more for certain things than they would. I talked to one builder. He's got 17 orders out for windows and doors right now for 17 different projects. You can imagine his cost is substantially lower, James. So buying land is great. It just doesn't cash flow in the meantime. So maybe buying a house that you can rent out and cover most of your costs is a move here in Boca, and then maybe develop long-term, or sell to a developer, or work with a developer, or get the proposals all put through and entitle the land and then sell. But this little sector over here, I'm starting to become a real big fan of this. Also, obviously, here is Old Floresta, and that's just already well known and very expensive, and it's an awesome neighborhood. But just across the way, just east of here, the prices are different. They're very different, and they're lower. So you can expect that likely, and it's already happening. There's custom homes being built in this area right now, but you can expect that more and more builders will be going after land out here, as they've already built out mostly everything in this area, and we're seeing it. There must be 10 or more projects in this little neighborhood right now. And even with the market changing, I don't see it stopping right now. It's not like they're not buying or building. For example, I have a builder under contract right now for a lot right here, and it's a single family home, and in this little Boca market here. So, Antoinette, they have the big candy bars for Halloween. Yes, this neighborhood, is that Antoinette, is that where you trick or treat? Is that what I'm hearing? That's cool. Or is that, or you go trick or treat in this the Golden Triangle? Is that what you're saying? So yeah, I bet they have the big candy bars. Anyway, all right. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. It was a pleasure, and I'll see you guys next week, or the week after, possibly, because next week's a holiday. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a good night.